All right, hello everybody. It's the FMOA Trading Group once again. I'm coming with you guys to give you a little more in depth about our trading model as well as the other box that we use, okay? So I know in the last Confluence video I posted, I really only went over the short order side of what we take, but today was a picture perfect example of what it would look like to take longs, okay? So if nothing else is telling us anything, so we have these volume bars over here. I'll go over that in the next video, okay? But so if nothing else is telling us to take an entry at a different point of the box, we just automatically resort to the midpoint, okay? But what I want to go over is this other box, all right? This is pretty much our second Confluence. This is another big one that we use, okay? This is the orb model. We don't trade the orb model, but we do use RP Profits box. Shout out RP Profits, one of my favorite guys to follow on Instagram. I'll be whipping the Ferrari with him in about a year's time. I'll post a video for that. So what you do is you go to the 15-minute time frame and you mark out the 8 o'clock New York box, the candle, from the top of the wick to the bottom of the wick, okay? So what his box was telling us, all right, is that we were taking longs. It works almost the same way as ours. You'll scale down to the 1 minute and see how it broke to the upside of his box. That just essentially is like, hey, okay, we're looking for longs, but and then we wait for our box to come in, and then that way it's all good. And then if they align up perfectly, it's like, okay, look for longs, all right? But sometimes if they counteract each other, like one says shorts, one says longs, we go off the volume bars. But I'll probably make a video about that tomorrow or Friday, okay? So what you do, okay, go back over 5-minute time frame. You take the box, put it from the top of the candle to the top of the wick to the bottom wick, okay? So, and then scroll down to the 1 minute time frame, and then you wait for a breakout of the box, okay? Either to the top or the bottom. So here, as you can see, we have it break out to the top, almost like his box, okay? So this was picture perfect day, A+ setup, all right? This is pretty much saying, hey, we're taking longs today, okay? So, hold on, let me just, okay, yeah. I just don't want to mess up. So, once we see this, and if market conditions are looking great, okay, we'll throw our limit order to the midpoint of our box, all right? And that's essentially just where we're going to enter at, all right? And then once we get ticked in, normally if it's live, you'll move your stop loss down, okay? So me, for example, I like risking 350, all right? But that's just because I know how our model works. And most of the time, if it's coming down that low, our trade idea is completely incorrect. But whereas sometimes we'll enter at the bottom of the box if we're taking longs, that's just, for example. But today, perfect market conditions. We were looking for longs, and we're going to enter at the midpoint of our box, okay? So you still need a lot of patience for this model. If anything, you need not a lot more, but you're kind of just sitting on your hands waiting for price to get you in until we switch over to something where it'll let us take market orders, all right? So what I like doing is I like running up some Clash Royale, okay? That's something to, just kill some time and pass the time, really. So let's just watch this play out. Okay, so this is, it's getting pretty high, but we didn't ultimately end up taking this, the 8 o'clock high on the 15-minute candle. So that's a great sign. That means we're most likely going to see a reversal to come back down. Okay, so we'll watch this play out. All right, and then the next candle ticks us in. We move our stop loss to that 350. right below the 931 candle, okay? And then me personally, I just know price almost always retraces back up to the RP profits box. So I love using that as a great take profit, okay? I actually caught this move on my Lucid account, my funding. I just passed funded in the last video. And then also my Top Step account. I'm kind of reviving that. I have terrible habits on it, but if I just calm down on it, I'll probably pass it sometime next week. Okay, hopefully, you know. So what I like doing is I went for this. This is the play I went for. Risk 350 to make so a 2 to 3 2, okay? But once I see that there's actual buy side momentum, okay, I'll give you guys a perfect example for this. You don't need to pay attention to fair value gaps. If you guys want, I'll go over that in a different video, okay? But they're not really used in my model. I just like using them as something to, reinforce my trade idea and just de-risk in the trade. So that way, if it does end up reversing on me, I'm not losing as much money as I should, okay? So we'll watch this play out. We got ticked in at the midpoint, all right? We confirm everything. All right. So right here, today, I saw that we inverse this gap. So if we even come down to this gap, it'll help it get higher. So what I did is I moved my stop loss after we saw this move up and we inversed this gap right here. I moved my stop loss to the 935 and the 937 candle lows, just so, like I said, if price does seem to retrace, okay, we're just not risking as much. And it turns it to a higher RR for, us. So, and then, boom. Bang. And that's literally the move we caught today. The most flawless A+ setup that you can get for taking longs. If you guys want to know, it's pretty much just the same for shorts. But if you want me to go more in depth on this Confluence, go and check out the first Confluence video that I made, just going over our box, all right? And I went over briefly of their box, but see, price went up to the midpoint after we broke to the top, came down, went to the midpoint, okay? Price came back down to our midpoint, literally whipped us in, and then shot up to his midpoint. So most of the time, price almost always retraces back to his box, all right? If you guys have any questions, have any specific videos you want me to go over to help you guys learn more about the markets, feel free, put it in the comments, and yeah, I'll get to you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to see the live trading that we did, go and check out the previous video that I posted. This should be coming out around, 2 or 3 p.m. our time. All right, we might trade FOMC minutes, but we'll just check how the market conditions are looking. But yeah, other than that, drop a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you guys want to see more, and hit that notification button if you want notified when we post. Other than that, guys, God bless. Happy Ash Wednesday and happy Lent, guys. Make sure you grow that connection with the Lord. God bless, guys. I'll see you in the next one.